Now, another truce of sorts was declared again in the Syrian town of Aleppo yesterday. Explosions have been heard across the city, and the regime is blaming rebels for violating the deal with indiscriminate shelling. This morning, we are going to be live in Syria, hearing from those living through the conflict. Ala Chalabi's mum, dad and sister live in the government-held part of Aleppo. Mohammed Edel joins us from Aleppo. He is an English teacher at the Institute of Language Studies. Many members of his wife's family have been killed by government bombing. Also joining us from Aleppo is Wissam Zarqawi, an English teacher at Aleppo's Institute of Language Studies. He also lives in the rebel-held area of Aleppo. And we're also joined by Declan Walsh, a journalist for the New York Times, who has recently returned from Aleppo. Thank you all very much for joining us. Mohammed, first of all, you're living with your family in the rebel-held area of Aleppo. Tell us what life is like there on a daily basis for you.
Hello, everybody. In the very beginning, it's really painful to let you know that Aleppo is burning, to tell you that Syria is bleeding. That is what Bashar al-Assad wanted, to kill the civilians everywhere, in every terrain of Syria, especially in the free city of Aleppo. In the rebels' part, you are going to see a mother weeping over her own children. A daddy is weeping over his family. You are going to see the carcasses of the innocent children, the innocent people who has seen nothing in their life but such kind of killing, who see nothing about their childhood but such a kind of martyring, such a kind of agonies and displacement. In fact, that's what Bashar al-Assad wanted to do for the Syrian people.
I want to bring in Wissam as well, because Wissam lives in the same part of Aleppo as you. Wissam, what is your experience of life there?
It's similar. Alhamdulillah, my family is okay because they just run away. They had to run away to Turkey. Now they're living there. Alhamdulillah, they're safe. I prefer to stay here. I was abroad. I came back. It's dangerous.
Why do you prefer to stay there?
Because they need people who can teach. They need doctors. We people need engineers. We need everyone who can help. This is the idea. So it wouldn't be okay to run away in such circumstances, because it's very dangerous for everyone, doctors, teachers, all people. So people run away. But I could stay, and I'm here. This is the idea.
And there was the ceasefire, which obviously came to an end. I mean, it's supposed to be back in force again. What has it been like in recent days and months?
Today it's better. No pumping, but it's only for 48 hours, I guess. And they had to accept it because they're having some battle somewhere else. That's why. When they're not fighting the Free Syrian Army, they would be bombing us. So it's either they're fighting the the Russia or regime fighting another army, or bombing us. This is the idea.
I hear what you say about why you decided to stay there, because you want to teach, but are you not afraid for your own safety?
It's okay. Even if we have to die, this would come everywhere, whether here or in Turkey or in Europe. So let's die doing something useful.
Ala, you're with me in the studio. You obviously are not there, but you've got family there living in the government-held part of Aleppo. Yes. What communications are you having with them? What is life like for them?
And communication is very difficult, obviously, because they have lack of electricity and internet. But we tend to sort of use mobile messaging to keep in touch sort of daily. I spoke to them the last 2 days. It has been very, very difficult the last 12 days. They've described it as a sort of constant shelling. Like rain, they said. They're trying to stay at home as much as possible. Obviously, you have to get out and about sometimes. And this is their daily life now. This is their reality. And they feel that they're living on hope, but they're also resilient. That's for most people in Aleppo. And they feel that they've been let down by the international community in general.
How do you feel knowing that people who you love so much are in that environment where they are at such great risk?
I mean, it's very difficult, obviously, because part of me wants to be with them. You're asking the gentleman why he wants to go back, or because this is home. this is where we're brought up, and I need to see my family. I obviously have other responsibility. I have a kid here, so I won't be able to go back. They can't come out. So it's very difficult because they're stuck. It's like a prison. But at the same time, this is, life has to go on. So we try and, it's been 5 years now. We have to go on with our lives, but it's scarring everybody, whether physically or mentally, anyone involved.
Let's bring in Declan Walsh, New York Times journalist. Declan, you were in Aleppo 6 days ago. What was it like for you?
Well, on the outskirts of the city, it's got those, unfortunately, iconic images of Syria where you have devastated suburbs, people living in very bad conditions. The surprising thing when you get into the center of the city, and I'm talking about the government-controlled side, I wasn't able to go to the rebel side, is that there is some, as your speaker indicated, some semblance of normal life is going on. There's a lot of traffic, shops are open, schools, people are going to schools and universities. But in the background, there is this constant, every couple of hours, sometimes more frequently, you hear explosions going off. Some of them is the sound of Russian warplanes dropping bombs on the rebel side. And sometimes it's rebel artillery coming into the government side and dropping in civilian neighborhoods indiscriminately as far as one can make out. And sometimes people, when they step outside their front door to go about their daily business, they know they're taking a risk, and that sometimes that can result in death.
Wissam, you were nodding through a lot of that. What Declan was saying about normal life goes on, but obviously there's this backdrop there all the time as well.
Yeah. We are getting used to it. This is like what's happening now. Schools have been stopped for about 2 weeks, but inshallah, hopefully we'll come back soon to continue the academic year. But people got used to it. 2 hours after the attack, life will get back to normal. People will just try to clean the ashes, whatever, and come back to life.
Do you really remember life before it being like this? And can you imagine what life might be like for you in the future?
I guess it would be excellent without the chilling, because now we got used to a different kind of life. We are free. We can say whatever we want. We can criticize even the people controlling our areas. This is something which is new to us. To taste freedom, this is something new. So I guess life would be wonderful when the war ends, when the revolution succeeds, inshallah.
Anna, how do you feel being away from it? Would you want to go back?
I mean, my sister was here for a while, and she just went back a few months ago.
Why did she do that?
Because she just couldn't be away from her mom for so long, and it's that feeling of at least I'm with them, at least I can see them. Of course, I'd like to go back, and I'd like to help out, but as an individual, I'm probably going to add, nothing, and if I go back, probably just become another casualty, and it's very frustrating because there's, I can see here that there's on an individual level, people sympathize, people want to help out and reach out if they can, but on collectively as a country or as different nations, very little is being done, and I think there's no will to help out. So I'm constantly frustrated of maybe I should do something, but the reality is there's nothing I could do. We can only do it collectively, and our government should do something on our behalf. That's what we hope.
Ala, Wissam and Declan, thank you very much. And we lost Mohammed, unfortunately, during the course of our discussion, but thank you to all of you.